Hey y'all, it's Macy and welcome. This is my first episode of Nature's Friend and a walk through the woods with Macy. So the purpose behind this series, I think it started when honestly I got really into turkey hunting, was when I started getting so enamored with nature and wildlife and just studying these things. If you know anything about me, I'm a bit of a nerd. I love to read, I love to study my hobbies. Next thing I knew, I began purchasing all these outdoor books, wildlife, botany, forestry, everything. I just do so much research on the things that I enjoy, and I wanted to do a YouTube series of me just going over all that, taking walks through the woods, looking for signs of wildlife, identifying trees, wildflowers, recipes, setups in the woods, like my trail cameras and my tree stands and animal behavior, fish behavior, fly tying. I just want to cover it all, so I hope you guys will tune in and support my new series. So a person that I have to give credit to for this as well is my boyfriend Slade. He sells land in Alabama. If you're looking or if you're trying to sell, definitely hit him up. But shameless plug. But I would go on his property showings, sit in the back of the buggy with the client up front with him, and while they were going over the property, doing whatever, talking, I would, look for wildlife. I would look for tracks. I would pick blackberries. I'd read my books. And through him, I truly found a deep appreciation for nature and wildlife, not just hunting the animals that we love to hunt, but just learning all that we can about nature and wildlife while we are still here on this earth. And don't get me wrong, I already had all that in my heart and as a part of me. Like, that's literally who I am. But when I met Slade, I really grew in my appreciation for land and nature and hunting and everything outdoors. This is also very faith-based for me. I think you should do the things that bring you closer to God, and spending time in His creation is definitely top on the list for me. It's what I feel like I've been called to do. It's what I'm supposed to be doing here on this earth. I truly believe a walk with nature is a walk with God, and whether I'm hunting or just walking through a state park like I am right now, I feel closest to Him. My faith grows and my appreciation and love for the Lord grows as I do the things that I do. And before we get into it, I think a verse that I want to leave with y'all that I feel just so deeply connects with what I'm doing here, and I just feel it in my heart. I want to stamp it on my forehead most days. But it's a verse that I heard Coach Mark Richt of the Georgia Bulldogs back in the day preach on at an event that I went to in high school. And it's Jeremiah 17:7. As blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is the Lord. It will be like a tree planted by water. It sends its roots out toward a stream. It doesn't fear when heat comes, and its foliage remains green. It doesn't worry in a season of drought or cease producing fruit. And that's what I want to be. That's what I want to stand for. I want to be like a tree planted by water that doesn't fear when anything bad comes, that has a firm foundation in God and everything that she does, and is able to withstand just the worldliness of this world and everything thrown at her. So that is my testimony about this series, what it means to me on a deep and internal level. So enough of that, let's get into the episode. We're going to take a walk through the woods in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. One of the reasons that I love hunting in the fall when the leaves drop and it's so beautiful everywhere is because listen to my footsteps right now. Disadvantage is that you're going to be heard in the woods. But the advantage is that when you're in your tree, nothing will be sneaking up on you. You can hear these deer that are coming in because they're going to be crunching on the leaves as well. Something that I do before I go hunt, so in the prep, while I'm setting stuff up, I will clear out a path going to my tree so that I'm walking on soft ground and not crunchy leaves sounding like a bull in a china shop just trying to get to your tree, making a lot of noise, and you're able to go in as undetected as possible. And speaking of crunchy leaves, you know what's also crunching under my boots right now? Acorns, which gives us the perfect opportunity to go learn about some oaks. I'm sitting on an eastern white oak. What better tree for wildlife? What better tree for deer? All oaks drop acorns. Deer love acorns. And you know what? I love acorns. Oaks are my favorite, not only because deer love the acorns, but look, they look like they're wearing a little hat. Ain't that just precious? So I am reading Sibley's Guide to Trees, the ultimate book on trees and for outdoorsmen or botanists, forestry people. This is like the book, and I love it so much. It's taught me so much about trees and about wildlife and what they like. So I was going to look for a good leaf that showed you that this was a white oak. Okay, that's a pretty good one. It looks just like that leaf there. And something I've found as I've been studying oaks is that the leaves on white oaks are a bit more rounded. And if you look at a red oak, they're more pointy. And why do deer love acorns? Why do you want them on your property if you're going to hunt it? It's because white oaks drop acorns that are really sweet to deer. They're less acidic than a red oak acorn. And they just have a lot of stuff in them that deer really need, like protein. I'm about to get hit in the head with these acorns. Protein, and they're high in fat. So just stuff that deer need to grow and to be healthy. And I keep talking about deer. It's not just deer. So turkeys are up in here eating acorns. You know the squirrels are up in here cracking them some acorns and enjoying them. All kinds of birds and other wildlife benefit from white oaks. While we're on the conversation of nuts, a tree that produces nuts, it's called a hard mass tree. In opposition, a soft mass tree is producing fruit. So like your apple, your pear, your plum, your crabapple, your persimmon, that's a soft mass tree. This is a hard mass tree. You're welcome for that nutology there. So we can't walk away from this tree without talking about the bark. They do appear gray and ashy even. Right here it says bark on older large trunks forms long peeling ridges or small blocks, which I can definitely see is what's happening here. Everything they described. Also, while I was sitting at that tree, there were several spiders that I saw, and I just know I have one crawling up my britches right now. So a tree that I've been looking for in here, and I haven't found many of, but I just found one, is a cedar. So this is the eastern red cedar, and if you know anything about it and you deer hunt, then you know that these are the trees that deer rub on. This one does not have a rub on it, but I'm going to look for one that does. So they have very thin peeling strips off of their bark, and they are evergreen, which means they stay green year-round. Sometimes they get a little reddish-brown in the fall or winter. So why do deer rub on cedar trees? Sometimes pine trees too, but it's basically a way for deer to tell smaller deer, hey, get out, buddy. These are my does. This is my area. Get lost. So I'm continuing my walk in this block of woods, only to find so many pines. I love pines. They're beautiful. They're tall. They remind me of home because Georgia State Tree is a pine. I love pines. But upon some more research, pines, I found there's two types. There's yellow and there's white. A couple fast facts on pines. They're evergreen. They stay green year-round. Two, they drop two things. They drop pine cones and they drop pine straw. So this tree is a yellow pine for many reasons, and I'll show you. Okay, first, the bark is a telltale sign of a yellow pine. It has almost these big blocks that are kind of reddish brown. Secondly, pine cone shape. This one is definitely more rounded. If you're looking at a white pine, it's going to be long, slender, and narrow. Okay, just caught an armadillo on camera. That's an obvious sign of wildlife. It's seeing it with your own eyes. You don't have to look for signs. There he is. I think he came out of that hole right there. I don't really know what he's doing. I think he's kind of looking for food. Armadillos keep digging little holes in my backyard. Okay, third, pine identification. This is something I didn't know until I kind of got into my book and read more about pines. The grouping of needles. So if you pick up any little bundle of pine tree needles, a yellow pine is going to be coming in groups of 3. I'll pick up another at random. Group of 3. One more, okay. Group of 3. Okay, so last difference in yellow and white pines is the twigs when they drop. Yellow pine, they're going to remain rough. White pine, they'll be smooth. The more you know. One thing I keep finding in this area are these big old hogging leaves, which I found out is a big leaf magnolia. I mean, they're huge and they're everywhere. So I made it out of the forest and into the lake with these walking trails, and it's so beautiful. It's so colorful back in here. This is definitely somewhere I want to come back and walk or run. There's some poop. So I talked to my friends at Mossy Oak about sponsoring my Nature's Friend series, and they immediately said yes, they'd love to be a part of it, mainly because everything that Mossy Oak does, everything that they stand for, aligns with what I'm trying to do here with my series, which is educate and inspire life in the outdoors and being stewards of the land, appreciating nature and wildlife. So I said, okay, I'd like to focus on Mossy Oak Companions, which is the casual workwear / camp clothing that Mossy Oak has created. They created it back in the 80s, and they brought it back here in 2023. I said to them, I was like, okay, I'll make sure to wear Mossy Oak Companions every episode. And then I thought to myself, well, I don't really have to try because I already wear it every day like it's my uniform. Mossy Oak Companions is my favorite clothing on earth. I'm wearing the right shirt today, which is just like a button-up shirt. Button down, button up. What's the difference? Anyways, I love this shirt. It has cuffs that are bottomland when you roll them. I'm also wearing my bottomland pocket tee. Lastly, I'm wearing my Mossy Oak Companions hat. I love this hat. They should rename it the Macy hat. I have wore it slap out. It's my favorite. It's fading, and I'm going to be wearing it for a long time. So the thing about these right shirts is that they're coming out with different animals. And they're all limited edition. So the right shirt, I wear it over shorts and a t-shirt. I wear it with jeans. I wear it with a tank top underneath. I've worn a right shirt over a dress. So no doubt my favorite item from Mossy Oak Companions. Y'all check it out. The styles, the colors, the fabrics are drawn straight from nature. It is a brand that I am just so proud to just stamp my name on because I love it so much. Plus, just when I wear it, I feel confident. I just feel like I look like a real cutie pie. So that's our first episode, y'all. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you want any other topics covered, feel free to comment them. I'll be sure to link everything I'm using and talking about or wearing in the video. And before this video ends, I gotta shout out my game warden friend, Mr. Joey, who hangs around this park. And he gave me some fresh made banana bread that somebody's grandma made, or wife, somebody. I'm excited about my banana nut bread. I'll see y'all next episode.